It's Tuesday, the 17th of July, 2018, and welcome to Navigating Your Day. In Jinshin Jyutsu, safety energy lock number 17 came into the universe meaning reproductive energy or relaxation of the mind and nerves. So what does that mean? Well, my understanding of that is that when safety energy lock number 17 is in harmony, then we are able to access our reproductive energy, our creativity, because our mind and nerves are calm. So there's a part of your nervous system that runs the automatic functions of your body called your autonomic nervous system. And your autonomic nervous system has two branches. One is called your sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight mechanism. And the other is your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest, digest, and restore mechanism. So those two systems work together all the time, and they take care of everything that happens automatically in your body, which is about 99% of everything, right? And they work at different times, and they are more active at different times. So when you have to meet a deadline, or when you are dealing with a client, let's say, or when you are completing a task that takes lots of focus and concentration, then your sympathetic nervous system is more active. When you are eating, for example, then your parasympathetic nervous system should be more active. This is why it's so important that we should eat when we're relaxed and not when we're on the run, just FYI. Okay, so when safety energy lock number 17 is in harmony, both parts of your autonomic nervous system function together as a unit. And that leads to a sense of calm and clarity, and that helps us to access that reproductive energy. And then our response is one that is more in harmony with who we are, as opposed to just being a reaction. So we all know that the calmer we are, the more likely we are to find a solution or come up with something more creative. When you're frantically trying to put out fires and you are in response mode, you are in sympathetic dominance. So safety energy lock number 17 helps to bring the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system into harmony, and that affects your endocrine system, your hormones, your neurological system, your brain chemicals, as well as your immune system. And safety energy lock number 17 is located here on the outside of the wrist. So this is a really easy one. You can either hold it like that, or you can hold it like that. And, many times we stand holding our hands like this, and then we are holding safety energy lock number 17. So when you do that with awareness, you really can calm the nervous system down. 17 is an 8. 8 is an earth number, a very strong earth number. So 8s are about boundaries. 8s are about, this is where my boundaries end, and this is what I'm prepared to do, and this is how far I'm prepared to push it. Now, 8 is also about finishing. 8 is very particular about getting the job done. So we've got an 8 in the day number, and we've got an 8 in the euro number, so that energy is very intense at the moment, and we'll feel very grounded. Now, for those of you who tend to spend a lot more time in your heads or your minds, you might find this a slowing down kind of energy. However, 8 is about practical solutions. 8's about getting real. Many of us don't want to get real, all right? So if you are living in some sort of fantasy where only one side of something exists, let's say that you are, so I've got a workshop coming up on Saturday, right? So let's say that in my mind, I have this fantasy that everyone is going to love it, they're all going to get it, and they're going to leave there thinking that I am the best thing since sliced bread. It's the one that says, Loretta, have you thought about X? What if you run out of time? What if you don't get everything done? What if they don't get it as quickly as you wanted them to get it, and they have to leave with half the manual not finished? You see, I've got 4 8s. Oh my God, I can think of nothing worse. Half the manual not finished. Failure. So that is the practicality of the 8. 8s also want to know all the information. They want to have all the information so that they can actually make an informed decision and choice with everything that they have. So when they feel that they've been told something that's incomplete, that bothers them tremendously. So today you want the whole picture. You want to know about everything that is required in order to get the task done. So this is a good day to plan, for example, a workshop. What would this workshop need? It would need a manual, and it would need tea, and it would need food, and is the venue okay, and all that kind of things. That's the kind of thing, the practicalities of what 8 can bring to this day for you today. One of the drawbacks of 8s is that they can be ruthless. They can be ruthless with other people in terms of driving them to get a job done and get it done well, or driving themselves very often. Luckily, we have that 2 energy from 2018, which helps us to keep perspective and keep things balanced. It also helps to keep us connected to our emotions. How is this making me feel? Does this feel like nourishment, or does this feel like punishment? So that is a really good indicator of whether your 8s are in overdrive or not. Luckily, the life map also has some 6s in it, and 6s are about harmony and balance and peacemaking. Now, 6s very often don't have clear boundaries. 6s will say, oh, don't worry about my boundaries as long as you're happy. 8 goes, no ways. My boundaries count. So there might be some conflict between setting your boundaries and allowing your boundaries to be fluid in order to make other people happy. You'll know which one of those categories you fall into. So in my case, maybe a little bit more balance and discrimination would be quite useful, because I have 4 8s in my life map. So for me, boundaries are not that hard. For me, balance and not trying to push and kill myself to get the job done, that's what's more required. You might be somebody who has much more fluid boundaries and finds it very difficult to say no, and wants to actually automatically please other people, and so are prepared to allow your boundaries to be overrun in order to keep others happy. You need to draw on the energy of the 8 to actually be firm within your boundaries. None of us like to say no, because none of us ultimately want to be rejected, okay? So just know, however, that when you have to sacrifice yourself in order to make someone else happy, you are not being true to who you are, and then you actually are not being true to your life purpose. So the villain today is a 7. So when we have 7 in the villain position, 7 in the villain position does not want to be embarrassed and doesn't want to lose face and doesn't actually want to be in the limelight at all right? So 7 wants to avoid embarrassment at all costs when it's in the villain position. So this may mean that you may have really firm boundaries but are too embarrassed or uncomfortable to speak up. Or you feel bad for the other person because you know that if you speak up, the other person is going to feel mortified or embarrassed, and so you avoid doing that. So that is the danger of having the 7 in the villain position today. Just remember that when you keep quiet in your silence about something, you are just as complicit as the people who are doing that thing that you are protesting, for example. So, just because you don't say anything, even if you disagree with what's going on around you. So let's just say there's like a racial incident. So, and you don't agree with it, but you keep quiet because you don't want to embarrass yourself and you don't want to embarrass the person who actually sparked the incident. When you keep quiet, you're actually condoning what's happening. So that's the risk we run of having 7 in the villain position today. We put up and shut up for others and for ourselves. And in doing that, we actually sell ourselves and others short. The finger that we can hold today that has safety energy lock number 17 on it is the ring finger. Remember, I said you can hold safety energy lock number 17 like this, or you can hold it like this. The ring finger is where safety energy lock number 17 is represented. The ring finger harmonizes the lung and large intestine organ function energy, so it helps us to eliminate toxins. It also helps us to eliminate negative emotions. It helps us to eliminate excessive positive emotions when we're not being realistic. The underlying attitude of the ring finger is sadness and grief. It's about allowing us to let things go. And it's only in letting it go that we can then access that reproductive energy and that calmness and that stillness. And letting it go does not mean not feeling it, all right? You can feel it intensely. The more you hold the ring finger, it might cause a wave of that sadness to manifest itself. And then you will find that if you just sit with it long enough, it will recede. And by long enough, I don't mean 3 hours. I mean 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Usually it never lasts for longer than that. What else can I tell you about the ring finger? The tissue that this particular finger governs and controls is what's called the deep skin, so it's the lymphatic tissue. So it's associated with enhancing immunity. It's associated with helping the body to detoxify and, as I said earlier, to eliminate. Hope you have an amazing Tuesday, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow.